Now, we all want to be more consistent on YouTube, and it's so easy with life just to let things fall by the wayside and actually struggle to be consistent. You end up consuming more than you're producing. You have to learn, so obviously you have to do that. Life gets in the way, work gets in the way, family gets in the way, and you just can't seem to remain consistent. And I'm literally going through that right now. I'm trying to learn more about communities. And as I'm learning that and I'm going through and I'm doing training, I'm working with mentors and I'm developing those new skills, inevitably you stop uploading to the channel because you just don't have the time. And trying to get that to happen at the same time is really, really difficult. And then trying to get back into it when you do find the time is obviously difficult as well. So I'm going to share with you what I'm currently doing, what I've decided to do, and the few things I like to do that you maybe could do to be able to get more consistent, to be able to get started again, and to push through that barrier. There are a few things that, well, there's many things that get in the way, but there are a few things that you can actually do to try and cut through that. So the first point I like to try and do is to remove friction. Now, I normally use a teleprompter. I would normally use more fancy equipment. Perhaps I would mix things up and write scripts and spend time doing that and then editing the script and then putting it onto a teleprompter system and then recording that and then editing it. And that all takes time and it all adds friction. Everything you have to do to be able to start recording, to press play, adds friction and makes it harder. It makes you have to think about it more and you just don't take action. So what I like to try and do is minimize the equipment. I've removed the teleprompter. I'm just using some bullet points here. That is it. So I've literally come up with an idea. I've written down some bullet points. I'm recording on camera and I'll edit it afterwards. And it's not going to be perfect, but you need to remove as many of those frictions as possible. So I make it as easy and fast to get started. So I'm saving on time. I'm literally linked to a 4K camera. It all plugs into my computer. So does the microphone and the light. And I can just press play, start recording, and away we go. I have the bullet points. That's it. Nice and easy. No script, minimal equipment. I reduce the fear and I just allow myself to not be perfect, because imperfect action is better than perfect action. If I'm not creating any videos, it doesn't matter how good the videos were before. If there's no new content coming onto the channel, then imperfect action is much, much better than that. And sometimes, especially if you're changing niche on your channel like I am now, you probably want to produce more content, not less. So maybe not one video per week, two. So allow yourself to take imperfect action, remove as much friction as possible, and just simplify. Simplify everything to remove as much friction as possible. Point number 2 is to make sure that you understand who you serve. Now, I will put a link in the video description to our community. Otherwise, you can go to school.com/channel profits. And inside, we can help you find clarity on who you serve and what they actually want for both your business and your YouTube channel, because this often holds us back. If you don't know who you serve, then you have doubts about your channel. And this can make you overthink what content will work, what won't work. Whereas, yes, you obviously need to research your videos. Yes, you need to see what the competition are doing, what you can rank for, what you potentially would be able to get more views for, what would be a good idea, iteration, everything else. All of that research stuff, yes, it's important. But not all views are made equal. And you could get 1,000 views from the right people, and it may massively grow your business, because it's more important to make videos for your target avatar, for who you serve. And the clarity that you get from knowing who your videos are for. So for example, I'm creating my community at the moment, and I'm creating this video because I know they're struggling with consistency. It's something that gets brought up quite a bit amongst many of the members. So I figured I'm also struggling with that right now. So why don't I just create a video and explain what I'm doing as well? So by doing that, the video is relevant to my target audience, my current audience, and hopefully some other people out there as well, which will then come into my community and also grow my channel. So it's better to know exactly who you're making your content for, because then even if the video doesn't hit and go as big as you want, you're hopefully monetizing in other ways and it's for the right avatar. So it's going to grow your business anyways. And chances are, if the video doesn't do well now, it may in future as people start to binge watch your content. So it's important to understand who you serve and to gain clarity, because confusion is an extra layer of friction. It just makes things more difficult for you, again, to be able to get started. So you're going to see a pattern here. Make things as simple as possible. The third thing I like to do is to make sure I have a stack of video ideas ready to go. Now, obviously, setting up your camera and all of this is hard work. And you don't always feel like being on camera. Maybe you don't have the energy. Maybe you don't want to get changed, turn the lights on, maybe it's too noisy. There's always something getting in the way. But for research time, you record when you have the opportunity. But in terms of researching your videos and coming up with ideas, you could be on the train, in the car, and you can quickly save on your phone a video idea that you think sounds good. Maybe you want to investigate later on. So you should be jotting down as many ideas as possible as you're researching, maybe as you're watching YouTube as well. So what I like to do is I like to use a tool called ClickUp. It's a project management tool. You can get a free account. I will put a link in the video description. I think I'm on a paid account, but for years I've used this now and I didn't pay for anything. So assuming they still do the free account, I'm not really affiliated in any way, but assuming they still do the free account, that's more than enough. And you should be able to do what I'm going to show you. So if you see inside, I literally use the boards like this for my YouTube planning. And as you can see, there's not much going on at the moment because I really have been neglecting my channel. But what I like is how visual ClickUp is. There is plenty of other tools out there such as Morning Fame or Trello, but what I like is how visual it is and how clean the user system is. So all I do is have a board set up inside one of the spaces for my YouTube channel, and then I like to create a general ideas section, some sort of ideas I'm working on to see if I want to check them, test them, make sure to see if they're potentially good ideas. So let's just say general, could be crap, I don't know, but I've had a thought and I'm just going to jot it down. And then 3 different sections or areas that I'm working on that I think people may be interested in for the channel. And I jot those down. And then when I think something is worth developing further and I've investigated it, I start to move it across to the thumbnail and title section. And then basically I start to create the title and the thumbnail first to create the idea around it to see if it starts to look good. Can it compete with potential video thumbnails and titles out there and the idea and the iteration? If the answer is yes, then I start doing the script. As we said right now, to reduce friction, I'm literally just adding some bullet points. I've got 4 simple bullet points that took all of 5 minutes for me to create. And then once you're done, you can just drag and drop them across the different areas and all the way across to editing your video, recording it, creating your video description and doing the SEO so it's ready for upload, then uploading it. And then I'd like to have a review section afterwards to see how the video is going, which again, I've been lazy on, haven't done anything about that. And then I move it into completed when it's all done. So that's it. That's my simple user system that just organizes me a bit better. You can use any of those free tools out there I mentioned, but if you can't use any of those or you don't want to use any of those, then just use a simple calendar and make sure that you are jotting down ideas and then moving them around into the calendar to make it work. But even notes or anything like that, just something that organizes you. I like ClickUp and other tools. But as I said, Trello seemed to work, if I'm saying the name right. That was fine. I just didn't really like the way it looked as much. I found this a lot cleaner, and they are all free. And finally, point number 4, sticking with the sort of theme of removing friction, I like to ask myself, what would this look like if it was more fun and simple? So if it was fun and easy, what would this look like if I made it somehow fun and easy? And if you look at things from that angle, because we don't want to do work sometimes and we resist things and it's fear and it doesn't feel comfortable. So if you actually ask yourself, okay, I don't really want to do this and there's an element of fear, how can I make it so that this is more fun? So it may be removing friction, like I said. I'm standing now because I found sitting a bit restrictive and I wanted to be able to move around a bit, so I felt a bit better. Maybe you could do little dances before. You could find ways to loosen yourself up, make it simple. Maybe you want to do it on your phone walking around. Maybe you want to do like the people recording on their phones in their cars. What would it look like if it was simple and easy? And if it's just you talking to the camera to begin with, that's fine. If it's you doing a voiceover, that's fine. Whatever it feels like to make it easier and better for you, then ask yourself that question. And I like to do that in all aspects of business. So I just like to ask, what would this look like if it was fun and easy? Because when something's fun, it doesn't feel like work anymore. So if you can make YouTube and making your videos and your content fun and easy, then I highly recommend you do it. As I said before, if you would like to join our community, you can get more support. We can help you find clarification. And also we have live calls and a great active community that you can join totally for free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.